sir. Yes, sir. Gritty and Wylie show. You already know what it is, man.
Hottest in the city, yes, Wylie and it's gritty. If you wanna know about the work, tap in with me.
We in the building. We in the building. We gonna get to it.
Yo,
but we in the building.
First of all, man, shout out to Wifey, man.
Yes, sir.
God is good.
Yes, sir.
Beautiful things are happening.
Yes, sir.
Like I told you, she's doing a book.
Yes,
it's gonna be
sir.
crazy.
Yes, sir.
All the shades.
Come
you gotta
on
check
now.
it out.
Come on
She
now.
popping a podcast soon,
Yes,
so it's
sir.
all gonna pop off. Love you, Wifey.
Motivation.
Hold me down. Hold me
Motivation.
down.
Motivation.
It's
Motivation.
my partner for life.
What I tell you, I ain't never met somebody that's more consistent and not just congratulating people and not just acknowledging people and not just staying 10 toes down, but having the motivation to get up every single day. This guy Gritty, this guy Coach B, he one of them, man. Clap it up for Coach B.
Man, appreciate
You know
it,
what I'm saying? I appreciate y'all, you know what I'm saying? Stay tuning in, like, share, subscribe. We gonna move the times around. As you can see, we had that 9 p.m.
We trying to find that good
You know what I'm
slot.
saying? So y'all gotta let us know.
Watch,
y'all gotta
you know what I'm saying?
tap in and be like, yo, I don't get off of work until 8:30. I don't, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because sometimes we looking at the live chat and be looking a little light.
Right. And I think that later time gives people time to get home, settle in,
Right.
get the kids fed,
Right.
put the dog to bed.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Ooh, the bars. Okay, Coach.
You know what I mean?
Okay, Coach.
That's
Look.
that why.
Hey, Deluxe coming out at the end of the month. I might
mean?
gotta have Coach B on that joint. Hold
You know what I
on.
mean? But yo, man, shout out to everybody that support the show. Real
Yes, sir.
deal. Shout out to my man Q for keeping me crispy clean.
Crispy clean.
Y'all don't even know what I got
what
on
I
right
mean.
now. They don't even know.
Come
I want
on
the
now.
Mars
He
for
said.
these.
They said.
want the
You're
Mars
not
for
gonna
these.
know without getting a bag, but there will be
You know
signs.
what I mean? Shout out to my man Don Peeve, you know what I mean,
Yes,
holding
sir.
us down with
Yes,
the space
sir,
and the
man.
place. You know, man, condolences to his family. You know what I mean? He couldn't join us this morning.
Right, right.
Unfortunate news. So at the end of the day, you know what I mean, we appreciate you, Don P.
Yes, sir.
Peace and love to your family.
Holding it
You know
down.
what I'm saying? Shalom, you know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
So, you know, a lot of big things going on, man. My man Wylie album dropped.
Got the deluxe
Check it
coming out.
Check
so just
it out.
wait.
It's hard.
Hey, today I'm going to the studio about to drop a couple songs. So, hey, look, if there's some previews out there, just know.
Right.
Y'all might as well screen record those because
Right.
it's going to be a banger.
Right. You know, he putting a lot of work in, man.
Just try it, man.
I always want to take a moment as he recognized me. We got to always recognize a young brother trying to do big things, man.
Glory be to God.
So shout out to my man Wylie, man.
Amen.
You got to remember, this is a young brother who's just graduating.
Yes,
You know what I
sir.
mean? Completed his education.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? You got my brothers in these streets developing and creating masterpieces through the physical conditioning and strength and conditioning, corrective
Glory
conditioning.
be to God, man.
This man
God
is out here. He's a mentor to many. You know what I'm saying? He's out here.
Trying.
He out here. He spreads the gospel.
Amen.
You know what I'm saying?
Like I
So you're
said.
talking about a young brother, and we're talking about a young brother now.
24.
You know what I mean? That's really making moves and doing it the right way. A guy I could call my friend, a guy that I could trust to lead the
saying.
country and know that Gritty, NYC Gritty, Team Gritty, the whole establishment will be run with integrity and run the right way.
Hey, you mentored me to
saying?
do it. I remember you put me in that fire early. First tournament. You was
Right.
like, hey,
Yeah,
look,
get
I'm
to
going to be
it.
there at 5:30. You at M hold it down. I was like, wait. I thought you was coaching. You
Right.
said, yeah, nah, I'm coaching you, coach.
Right,
Like,
right. So just to watch his growth over the last year and a half,
Appreciate it,
2
man.
years, 3 years now, actually,
Yeah, 3,
has been a blessing to see a young brother really grab this industry and use all his talents. We're not talking about just locking
Squeezing
in
the
on
rag.
one thing. We're talking about he has shown you the ability to diversify his portfolio in a way that's unbelievable at his age. So
appreciate you.
shout out to my man Mike.
Appreciate you.
Like I keep telling y'all, if you down with NYC Gritty, Team Gritty, SSE, you got to get down with my man Wylie.
Come on now.
That's another bar.
Hey,
SSE.
I'm trying to
Wylie.
tell you. You
Come
got to
on,
get
man.
in the stew,
Come
Coach.
on, man.
We got to do an extended
Right,
version
right.
of the intro.
Right.
Get
It's
Coach
coming.
B on
It's
there.
coming.
Look, I'm telling you, by
coming.
season 4, he going to be the one making the
coming.
intro, not
It's
me.
coming.
You know what I'm saying?
And then shout out to all my graduates, man.
Yeah, man. Clap it up for them graduates, man.
Every kid that has achieved that diploma. Shout out to my grandson. You know what I mean? Floyd, you know what I mean? AKA Amari, AKA Lil Ski, up doing this thing in the music world. You know what I mean?
Yes,
The
sir.
TikTok king, you know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying?
So shout out to my little mans for really achieving something. The family is happy.
Yes,
We
sir.
love you.
Yes, sir.
You one of them.
Yes,
you know what I'm
sir.
saying? We know your future is bright. You're a go-getter. You know what I'm saying? You got some good blood. So you know what I mean?
Hey, that
You gonna make
graduation is
moves.
that gauntlet, man. You
Nah,
really got to
it's that
sacrifice.
gauntlet, man.
You got to sacrifice what
Everything.
you want. You got to sacrifice your time with the hus. You got to sacrifice the time with your friends out there. You
Right,
got to sometimes
right.
even sacrifice getting outside in the gym because you got to make sure you do your schoolwork first.
Right, you got to sacrifice that time on the game.
Oh yeah, definitely. You
know what I'm
I
saying?
don't know if you could be on the game if you want to be a graduate.
Nah, not OD.
Nah,
You got to manage that.
You got to really look. You really might got to put it down. I don't know
Right.
if I played the game in like 4 years because I had to lock in. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, it's a beautiful thing,
You know what I'm
man. So
saying?
once again, shout out to all my graduates.
Right.
Shout out to SFA graduates. I think we got about 18 to 22 graduates
Yes,
this
sir.
year.
Yes,
which
sir.
is a big deal.
Yes,
for
sir.
a second year school, it's
You know
a
what
big
I'm
deal
saying?
that we have achieved those type of numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Appreciate all the mothers and all the families that have allowed SFA to take that lead in providing your son with
Right.
education and providing him a platform to express and show his talent on the basketball court and on the football field. We sincerely appreciate that.
Right.
It's a big deal to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a big deal to me that a family would trust me in that manner. That shows me a lot
Right.
of love, and
Right.
it shows me a lot of that they with me. You know what
Right,
I'm saying?
right, right.
So with everything I make sure I do it at the highest level that
Right.
I'm capable of, because a relationship to me is a two-way street.
100%.
You show me love, I'm gonna
Right.
show you love.
It's called reciprocation.
You know what I'm
It's
saying?
called reciprocation at the end of the day. And what I've seen happen is one of the greatest things that we have seen in Hillsborough County history. Long overdue. One of the situations that a lot of people may never have in their entire career in basketball. Coach B has been announced the head of basketball operations at SFA, man. Well overdue. If you know the work that this man has put in, if you know the time and dedication that this man has put in, the early mornings, 5 o'clock, and then the next day you like, it's still 5 o'clock. And then the next day you like, it's still 5 o'clock. And then 3 years go by and be like, did this man really say he been doing this for 25 years? And then you think about it, because the work. You see one of his guys just playing last night, Kevin Knox playing in the playoffs.
Right.
From this
Shout out
camp,
to
you know
them.
what I'm saying?
Shout out to all my guys that I that allowed me to help them along the way. I sometimes I'm a little like, I take the back seat to all of this.
Right.
I've never, maybe to some fault, I've never tried to step in front to say, look at me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I think it's just the way I was raised, to be humble. It's, I don't mind the spotlight. When I get in it, I'm a shine.
Right.
But I don't seek it.
But just like Ant-Man, he said he don't want to be the face of the league. But if you hooping like that, coach,
You gonna be the
we got to
face
make
of
you
the
the
league.
face of the
league.
franchise,
You know what I'm
coach. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to SFA.
Yes,
shout
sir.
out to Mark
Yes, sir.
Oliver, Principal Uda.
Yes, sir.
Shout out to Coach Ken. Shout out to all those guys who really believe in me
Right.
that I could get the job done. You know what I'm saying? It's a logistical job. You know what I mean? And I believe in, in surrounding myself with the right people. So
Right.
I'm creating a staff per se, a group of guys that really I trust to help me in this journey. I
Right.
think you as good as the guys around you.
100%. Right.
I've asked that I get the support I need in order to take this thing to the next level.
Yep.
I believe that if I'm given the right tools and the right platform, I can make this something beautiful. You know what I mean?
And the crazy
Beautiful
thing
music.
about it is that you've been low-key doing it for longer than your title has been. You know what I'm saying?
right,
And that's the
absolutely,
thing. It's like with operation, that means getting to know the kids and knowing the day-to-day, knowing the numbers, all of these different types, the analytics that go behind it. But
building those relationships.
right, but you can only do that if you're a field worker first. You got to be in a field with them kids. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of
Ground
people
zero.
they don't understand
Right.
the work that it takes, picking them up, having these conversations. You
Conversations.
not just a coach, you're a therapist, and you a parent at times. You know what I'm saying? You're a warden at times, having to lay down the law.
Right,
It's a lot of things.
right.
It's a whole bunch of hats,
Right.
and you know what I'm saying. And that's why I don't think anybody else is better for the job. Who's better
Right.
suited? You know what I'm saying?
Right. Shout out to all my kids that I work with. It's a lot of there's some questions going on about the transition.
Yeah.
What I can tell you is that me and Jalil is good. Coach Sanders is
Shout out Coach Sanders, man.
shout
You
out
know
to
what I'm
Coach
saying?
Sanders, you know what
He
I'm
did.
saying?
He like I said, he gave us all the opportunity. Gave us an opportunity to walk into the skills and the talents that we already had. You know what I'm saying? But we're just able to show it at a different pace. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Coach Sanders still would be over nationals. He
Right.
would have autonomy over nationals and,
Right.
and how that move. We'll work together on some of the logistics
Right.
and some of the things that it takes to be a top flight national program. So he's still with SFA.
Right.
He was very congratulatory about the promotion for myself. So I appreciate that. I appreciate his family, all the support. And it's just it's time to rock and roll. Man.
Yeah, that's it.
One of the things that I pay attention to is time. You know what I'm saying? I try to get ahead of it.
Right.
If things are not completed by this summer, I feel like I'm behind.
Yeah.
Because I've paced myself for the last couple of decades to be ahead of the season.
Ahead of the curve. Yeah.
Ahead of the season.
Right.
So it really bothers me when I feel like I'm a season behind.
You feel like this is the first season that you got that opportunity to really
Try to catch up. Because since once I came on, it's kind of been a catch up.
Right.
So what I'm trying to do is get things more in order right now and fine tune them in the fall.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Instead of getting them done in the fall and trying to make sure they're right during the season.
Because it's a lot of games, it's a lot of logistics.
Right.
Wait until November, it's going to be a little tough.
It's tough because we got multiple teams.
Exactly.
And I got to make sure, coaches are taken care of.
Right.
Understand what's the expectations.
Right.
See, I've been in this game long enough, so I set expectations for not only myself,
Right.
but I set expectations around people around me and also the players.
Right.
So once you put down what you want,
The
now they
expectation.
got to pick it up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
There's a responsibility
Sometimes-
with that.
Sometimes you so busy you forget to set those things, and if you don't set them, you get a little bit of chaos.
Right.
You get a couple of people out of pocket.
Right. Ultimately, you're not all in the same vein. We're not all equally yoked. And what happens with that is that,
Right.
it gets rocky because,
And the kids can see it. You know
and that's
I'm
what you
saying?
never want to happen. You want it to be streamlined at
Right,
the end of the day.
right. You want one unified culture. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? And the culture that I want to bring is obviously through the discipline, the love, and the passion for this sport.
Ultimately, your name, Gritty.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. I expect these kids to really show some sacrifice this summer as we dig into that weight room, as we
Right.
dig into that sand pit.
Right.
We got a lot of good things happening this summer
Yes,
to
sir.
build these kids, build them up.
Mm-hmm.
We want to get them prepared as much as possible to
Right.
play at this level.
Right.
I part of my job is to recruit. You know what I'm saying? And one of my biggest slogans is if you want your kid to play,
Right.
send them to SFA. You know what I'm saying?
And we've been saying that for
And
2 years?
Right. And obviously that's always going to sound more appetizing to a Joe.
Right.
And I'm okay with the life of the Joe.
But we can elevate the pro as well.
Right. So because the kid at the school that he's, these kids are currently in schools where they don't even get the opportunity because they're not in that group, or
Yeah.
because they a little late.
They're less desirable.
They're
as
less
they say.
desirable,
Right.
But their effort and their paying attention to detail is high,
Right.
is high enough for them to get better in this game.
Right. They
Now,
got some intangibles.
Right now, there's a level for everybody to continue playing this game
100%.
post college.
100%.
Post high school.
Right.
So it's just finding your slot. Is everybody D1? Stop it. Is everybody D2? Stop.
Not everybody is
Everybody's not even D3.
Right.
But you could get into the NAIAs and you could get into the
Right.
the JUCOs and finding these post-secondary schools to play at and build your skills and continue your dream.
But you hear what he didn't say? He didn't say anything about NIL. He said the work.
The work.
That's
The
what
work.
it's about.
The work will show and the money will come.
Right, exactly.
But you got to sacrifice the time. You got to sacrifice so many different things. And what I've tried to do is be a leader of that example of sacrifice.
100%. 100%.
If anybody sits down with my wife, she will tell you without a shadow of a doubt that my husband will do anything he can
452,000 hours.
Right, to help.
In the gym.
To help any kid.
I'm trying to tell you.
It doesn't have to be a kid who's promised the NBA stardom. It just has to be a kid that wants to work.
Right. And as a young coach, I sat there and be like, why? I would never, I'm not, you know what I'm saying? That's what I would look back. And then but that example makes it more, understandable for me to do it, because it's like, okay, I see him doing it and he's 50 and he's been doing it and he's, he's going through pain sometimes. His wife at home, having a injury and things like that, he's not able to be home. And so then I look at it and I'm like, okay, why would I sit here and not show up? Why would I sit here and not be here for all of the team and be there for the kids and do the things that I need to do? Because it's like, it just becomes so appetizing when you see somebody do it so flawlessly. Because that's the thing. They didn't even know you was doing it.
Right.
That's the thing. And that's when you know you're doing it the best, when they don't even know what you're doing.
They don't even know. I move with no, I don't need celebrations on my move. I move through Christ.
Lil Wayne said real G's move in silence like lasagna.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? And that's a real G right there. You know what I'm saying?
I just want to thank everybody for the opportunity. It took a lot of people to get involved for me to continue to move forward.
Yes, sir.
Shout out to Tampa Catholic. They held me down for years and kept me going. And those kids over there now, moved on to college and things like that. So I appreciate that.
Right.
Appreciate everybody who has just allowed me to be a part of their process, man. And thank you.
Hey, man. We don't want you getting too emotional. So what we gonna do is we gonna move on to the playoffs.
Let's go.
And we gonna start with one of the most shocking. Let's just start with this, man. Have you ever watched a basketball game where the team that was favored to win did not score for over 8.5 minutes? Have you ever watched that?
Yeah, I've seen those type of things before, and I
but at the playoffs though?
Yeah, no, in my time I've seen that happen, and but it's the playoffs, so it's the craziest feeling.
But they the former champs,
right? But every game is valued.
But they had 2 players that were Olympic players on their team.
Right, but every game is valued. But if you lose that game, it's not the end of the series.
But
and
you at home though,
right? Because you could get smacked, crazy smacked. I've seen some crazy
some crazy beatings.
But it's one game.
It's 2 now.
Yeah,
they down 0-2. Now we talk about the Celtics and the Knicks. Knicks tape stand up. Look, hey, Knicks tape stand up. Jalen Brunson. This man, I'm not gonna lie to you.
Let's go, man.
He's gotta be, he's no taller than me.
Right.
I seen him live.
Right.
And one of the things I said when I watched him live is just, he just has a knack for just being able to embrace the moment. His body control, his fearlessness, that bump.
Gritty.
And he's, like I said, he about 5'11", 6 foot at the tallest.
At the tallest.
And he just...
It's that grit, man.
I just don't get it, because when the moment comes, it just seems like he's more poised.
More poised. It's the, man.
More poised.
Gritty New York City, man. So shout out to New York City, man. We staying low key. We excited, but we need 2 more wins.
If you can get 2 in the Garden and you sweep the seas.
Hey, Madison Ave's going crazy.
Oh my goodness. You might got to book
City. Right. New York City is going to go this crazy.
Oh my goodness.
And especially if we could get to the NBA Finals.
Oh yeah, if you go to the finals, we all going out there. We got to take the NYC Gritty out there in Madison Square Garden.
We got to be right in front of the Garden on Madison Avenue, going crazy with the fans.
Who go sponsor us to go do that though?
Yo, holla at us.
Holla at us. We need the sponsors. That's what we said. If you really try to be a sponsor, we got the forms, we got the applications, everything like that. You know what I'm saying? We'll put your business out there, man.
Hey, to put us up, to get us all out there, the whole crew.
You know what I'm saying?
5,000 to do it.
You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, look at this is a crazy thing too. Like, Mikal Bridges, back-to-back games. And how did you win it? Not just with big shots, but big defense.
Garden, their best player, one of the top 5 players in the league.
Game 1, Jaylen Brown, they throw the ball over to him. Give me that rock. I just want it more. Game 2,
Strap.
The star number 2, or how some people arguably their star number 1, Jason Tatum goes to the, that's his shot, fade away.
Strap.
Give me that. Back to back.
Yo.
He said it's not the TD Garden.
In Boston.
We going back to Madison Square Garden.
In Boston, we decided.
Did you expect it?
When we went down 20-0, oh, not 20-0. When we went down 20 points, you start to feel like this. We've seen this before.
It happened back-to-back games.
And it's a testament to the way the game is being played, though.
Yeah.
Them dudes is up 20, jacking up threes.
Why?
Because that's their game.
That's what I've been seeing in the playoffs the most is just
this random jacking up threes.
Because it's like, all right, y'all play a good defense, and then it's just like transition, no offense, just pull. I don't get it. And it frustrates me because it's like before we could sit there and be like the pros don't do that. Now
it's I think Boston is averaging close to 45 to 50 threes per game. And they've only taken 70 shots, so I'm talking about a third of their shots.
And they're shooting about 30% or lower.
Right. So if they hit them, they go up 20.
Yeah.
Once they start missing,
they go down.
Panic button, and now we're not winning those games.
Sheesh.
Who do you blame?
Sheesh.
But they've been a scheme the whole time.
No, it has.
It's not like they doing something crazy. They've been winning like this the whole time because they do have some of the better 3-point shooters in the league.
Right. You got yourself your Derek White, your Tatums. Drew Holiday can knock him down. Peyton Pritchard when he's in the game.
Al
Horford can spread. Yeah, stretch
so your whole lineup is really clear out the middle, dribble drive, kick for the 3.
But when you got
that's their offense.
When you got Mitchell Robinson in the middle, don't nobody want to go down there.
Yeah. So now but see, the thing is, the key to this is the New York got serviceable perimeter players.
I'm trying to Mikal Bridges, crazy. Josh Hart, oh my goodness.
You know what I'm saying? Eganome.
Yeah, OG Anunoby. He's Eganome. That's his name. But that's what I'm saying. And they all like the same height, 6'7", 6'6",
yeah,
6'7".
So they interchangeable. So it's like when when they start talking about the switching, that's when now I can switch. You can switch, and now we switching like size. So I think. Look, if Boston doesn't change their philosophies on how they're gonna play, this could be a series.
I do feel like Joe Mazzulla though is a we'll die with our pride type coach.
Yeah, no, me too.
He's a Mike D'Antoni type coach.
Yep.
And you see what happened? They got all Mike D'Antoni teams. They would get all the way to the Western or Eastern Conference Finals
and couldn't get over that hump.
Because
that philosophy, if it's defended well enough, becomes a bad offense.
Yeah, now let me ask you this question. Were they right about last year? Was that finals run a cakewalk because of the injuries and things
Yeah, I think Boston got real lucky last year.
Okay.
Especially, I think Halliburton got hurt in that series. Brunson was hurt in the Knicks series. So I think if you go back and look at some of the greatest champions ever, I think Golden State had one of those years where they played a bunch of teams where the star was hurt.
Right.
And they tried to run that.
The Kawhi year where Zaza hit him with the...
I think it was a CP3 year in Houston when he missed the last 2 games.
Messed up his hamstring.
He was up, I think, 2-1.
Clippers years. And Blake Griffin done ripped his finger off the socket for somehow.
Right.
Somebody punched the fire hydrant.
Right. So at the end of the day, I think we've had multiple champions being won through, but you know how this thing go. Hey, health is part of the game.
The best ability is availability.
That's why you gotta have Wylie athletics on staff. You gotta co-venture with them. You gotta, you gotta work with him.
Right.
You gotta understand what he do and what he bring to the table.
Or you just gotta be like Ant-Man and be from Atlanta.
Yeah.
Cause this man done rolled his ankle, broke his foot 4 times.
And bounce back
and just be back in the same game. I'm like, what is going on with this man? And
I leave the room, come back in the room, he rolling around, and then I go re-up, and I go get full.
Yeah.
I re-up, come back out, and this dude back Straight.
He grabbed another one from the back. You know, he 23.
Right.
At that age, you could just. All right, we back.
We back.
That's it.
And when they said his age, I said, "Oh my God,
They gonna have to deal with this for a long time.
this is a young dude,
Yeah,
too.
very young. You know what I'm saying?
and it's already in that realm."
And that.
So but now it becomes sustainability,
Right.
and it becomes can he handle the noise?
Right.
Because that's all greatness is. Greatness means you at a point in your profession where all the critics, all they want to do is tear you down.
Right. And he got an entourage with him. He don't make it hard for him.
Yeah.
He don't make it.
No, he don't make it hard with the way he handles
When he the
himself.
baby mama factory, I mean,
Right.
goodness gracious. That series, now we'll talk about that one. The Warriors, Wolves. Steph, they said he not coming back till game 6 at the earliest. That hamstring. Because the thing is, and this is the thing, like I be saying this, these teams got to stop relying on these older stars. Because what Steph having to do, think about it, Rocket series, you go to game 7, you got so much physical bump, and you running around,
3-4 miles a game.
running around. And then you start trying to do that with the Timberwolves that have rim protectors and things like that. Long arms. So you having to run through, get around, run through, miss it, pass it off, run around. That hamstring start
Tweaking.
throbbing, start
tweaking.
You know what I'm saying? And then that thing, and then I was like, it's only a grade 1. He should be back in 2 weeks. And I was like, oh. I mean, he's 6?
Yeah. That's gonna be interesting. Like,
Yeah.
rush back.
You can't. I mean, he can't be back until game 6.
Yeah.
And if
What
it's
game
Wolves
they
at
on?
5,
What they on now?
they on game 3.
It's not gonna.
That's what I'm saying. If it's Wolves at 5.
Unless they could get one at home. They got to be able to get one at home. Can Butler step up?
Yeah, this is the time.
What is Jonathan Kuminga in this? Like, I'm trying to figure this out.
He said, where's Jonathan Kuminga in a world like this?
Because at some point, he was supposed to be like.
What if these perennial... Now, but that's the thing. That's where they look back at that G League Ignite team and be like, was it really worth it? Because you see a player like Jalen Green have these issues in the playoffs. Jonathan Kuminga might not be panning out. Now, you look at the Thompson twins, they were great. But then you look at the Scoot Henderson, it's like, was it worth it? That's why they discontinued it. Because, like, Jonathan Kuminga was the front runner for this whole program, him and Jalen Green. And them two.
And obviously, they're athletic, explosive,
Right.
super talented,
Right.
still young.
Right.
But the way they play the game of basketball,
It just
is
befuddles
concerning.
me.
Yeah,
It
it's
just...
very concerning.
I'm bewildered, as they say. I'm like...
yeah, it's very concerning.
Because I'll look and I'll be like, okay, 3 things worked back to back. And then they'll just go try to do something insanely crazy. I'm like, why? Just stay with what works.
I'm not sure what his game is. Yeah. Well, he's athletic.
No, he is.
He's 6'5".
Is he a wing?
He's a wing.
Because he don't be slashing all the time. Sometimes he be settling for the mid-range.
Right. And, his jumper is, it's
serviceable.
He still got to go to the gym in 2K and keep working on it.
It's a jumper that works when you got other shooters.
Right. It's not,
and nobody's expecting you to be shooting
It's
the ball.
not a reliable number 2 jumper. He like number 3, number 4.
5.
Yeah, because now after Butler,
it's Draymond.
and Draymond is a 8-point game scorer of his career.
Oh, and it is Buddy Hield.
Right. Hield has to continue to show that aggressiveness and letting it fly.
Yeah.
I was happy for him game 7 with Houston.
Yeah.
Because he kind of his year has been awkward because he was brought in to shoot the ball.
Right.
The Phil Clay spot.
And even try to put the ball on the ground.
Yeah. And then I just think defensively he just was so bad that they just stopped playing him.
Yeah. But now he's getting his burn back.
Right, he's getting burned. He's putting up
Right.
shots. He got to go crazy at home. They need to win one. A split at the crib would be a success for.
No,
and
100%.
Go back to Minnesota 2-2.
Yep.
And
maybe drop that last game on game 5 and then Curry come back game 6.
If they could get to Curry 2-2 and he maybe come back a game early because he's Steph.
But don't rush it though. You see what happened with his twin now.
Yeah, but they put that cryostasis.
They don't got that.
They don't got the surgery. They can't surgically.
If they had it, they would have gave it to Kevin Durant in 2019. They don't got that.
They gotta go. Yo, send them to Germany real quick. Have them do that thing they used to do for Kobe.
Give him some PEDs.
Give him that injection.
Give him some
something.
Hey, we'll know if he was shooting up.
If he could get back by game 5, they could.
You
win
want
the
them
series.
hoping and pray. You heard what Braun
But
said
my
on the
thing
body
though,
the
they
game
go down
pod.
3-2. I'm done for it. Put him on the shelf for the year.
You heard what Braun said on the Mind the Game pod. He said with that knee, he felt it lock. He ain't never felt the pain like that in his entire life.
Oh, his knee.
Yeah, he said he never felt the pain in his entire. I'm like, yeah, that's what
Is
happens
that
when
why
you
he
play
didn't
that
take that
40.
shot?
That's what happens when you play that 40.
Is that why he kicked it to Austin Reed?
Yeah, he said that joint was. He tried to move that joint up, and that joint wasn't.
I agree with you though. Relying on older stars,
He's gonna get him hurt.
It's tough.
Braun said it's crazy because Braun said like 4 years ago, I'm not trying to be the star that walks away from the game hobbling. Well, Braun, that's where you're at right now. Right. I mean, and Curry, that's where you're at right now. But
I ain't never seen Curry grab his hamstring.
Yeah, that was one of those.
That was alarming.
That's a football player type thing.
Right, like especially 3 miles a game. So
I mean,
yo,
heal up, Curry.
Recovery.
Yeah, put that ice pack on there. Go sit down.
I would love to see that series with Curry.
Yeah, that would be.
Without Curry,
you know, Ant-Man gonna talk regardless.
Yeah,
you know he gonna be like, I set them boys home. I mean,
so what's up with this Denver?
I was watching that game last night, man. That
OKC.
When I tell you, I don't know how I feel about it because this is the thing, right? Jokic didn't play well last night.
Nope.
Shea didn't play well last night.
Nope.
So I'm like, this MVP race, like everybody talking about these, y'all got to start thinking about these outside. Like Jalen Williams had like 34.
Right.
And the thing is, I'm looking down the stretch. They got the lead. Jalen Williams hit the 3, and then they go to Shea 5 possessions in a row.
Struggling.
And he's struggling. I'm like, just give the ball to other guys for y'all to just close out the game. Y'all got 40 seconds left.
Right, but they, Coach, it's the habit of how we got here. They got here through Shea.
No, they got there with 2 All-Stars.
Right.
Jalen Williams was a All-Star.
Right.
So I don't know why they going away from him like he can't make big shots.
Right. Well, you know how this goes, man. It's Shea team.
You're right.
So now you got to live and die with the Shea Gilgeous movement. You know what I'm saying? They still got time. It's still early in the series.
And what the Nuggets got is they got somebody named Aaron Gordon. Who is big shots.
And underrated. For me, I'm really locked into Aaron Gordon because of what he did to the Lakers the last couple of years.
Yeah.
I mean, we were leaving him open.
Oh, yeah.
So what he did the last couple of summers,
they said, you going to leave me open?
I'm going to do the summer of separation with my corner 3 and my 3 ball.
And he gets so much lift on that joint.
When he got to Orlando, he couldn't shoot.
Nah. He was just a dunk man. He was just standing on that.
So, but this is what I tell these kids, that there is a thing that happens when you mature and become an adult.
Yep.
And we watched him get drafted as a kid.
Yep.
And now he's, in the last 45 years, he's kind of matured as a man.
You know what I'm saying?
And figured out how he wanted to go about his work.
Right.
Now he's become a respectable offensive player, not just a dunk man.
Right.
Not just I'm an athlete.
Right.
Now he can hit big shots. Right. And he can guard.
And he knows where to be at those big moments. Like
Aaron Gordon has curved this whole thing on I can learn how to play.
Nobody thought the Nuggets with this roster was going to go as far as they did. But Aaron Gordon said we go. Because think about it, Clipper series. Put back Doug for game. Like, you got, that's a right place. That's Kawhi. That's a right place, right time moment. But that's after you putting in the work.
Right, because he's guarding your best wing.
If you do the work, that time is going to come. And then you think about game 1, big shot to put the game away. Mm-hmm. Game 2, big shot to put the game away. And it's an overtime. Who do they go to put the dagger? Right at that dunker spot, mid-range jumper. That a lot of these kids don't like that shot.
I know, and a lot of kids don't like the dunker spot.
I don't know.
See, my thing is that dunker spot can extend to the 3 if you're a player. So,
because it's the same spot.
Yeah.
It's right on that baseline.
Right.
Baseline extended. That's
versatility. Versatility is the key to growth. That's a good series. Mm-hmm. Obviously, shout out to my man Hunt. He put something up on that. So Hunt, holla at me.
Hey man, look, I don't know who's taking that series because we got another series where the number 1 seed is down, but they just got that win. It didn't look like they just go run with it because you see when Garland came back and Evan Mobley came back, they was putting that BTA to the Pacers.
Right. And obviously,
I think that was what it was going to be.
Right. Obviously, not having 80 points on the floor can hinder you winning games.
Right.
But they still should have won that. But
Yeah.
You know, that rebounding or a
I
couple
mean,
of big
they
shots.
probably expected both Blee to typically get that rebound.
Right, and but he was in street clothes. So, you know,
Yeah, you got to depend on the guys that's on the court.
on the court, everybody got to step up. When you have an injury, everybody got to step up and become something different.
Right. But you know somebody that's been something different the whole series? Mi gente! Donovan Mitchell. I'm trying to tell you, 40. I mean, he just dropping, whether you win or lose, it's 40.
He's an elite scorer. There's no doubt about that.
He's 6'3".
Right, elite scorer.
He's 6'3", two guard.
The question will be is when you're the favorite, can you
be the favorite?
can you meet the expectations of being the favorite?
I mean,
Because they're down to 2-1, right?
2-1, yeah, but I mean,
So they got an uphill battle.
yeah, but
They
it's
got
not going to be
another
too
one in
hard
Indiana.
when you got Tyrese Halliburton having 4 points.
Yeah, but he
does that though.
Right, he does that.
does
He'll
that,
have
though.
a 4.20 assist game.
And then what you'll see is people
Come back and hit a triple double.
That's what I'm saying. Then people will leave him open because he only had 4 points last game and hit the
They'll go
dagger.
crazy. So, you know what I mean? The playoffs is crazy.
Going crazy.
Tune in.
Going
Some
crazy.
games on tonight. I think every series is intriguing.
Yeah, man. It's going crazy. But
So
if you don't got
definitely
that
tune in.
dime P,
Easy
TV, you might
be
miss
missing
out.
something.
You might be missing. You might have to pay for the TNT subscription, the ESPN subscription, the Peacock subscription, all those other subscriptions. That's all bundled in with that dime.
Bundled, man. He bundles it all, man.
And you get the movies.
And you get the
You get to
movies,
watch
man.
that Sinners. You get to watch
Sinners.
that new Thunderbolts.
Thunderbolts. Yeah, I was checking
You know
that
what
out
I'm saying?
last night. It was hard.
It was hard?
Hard.
I gotta watch it. I
You know
gotta
what
watch
I'm
it.
saying?
I gotta
Watching
watch
on my
it.
new show. I was watching my Raising Cane.
Okay.
It's getting hard.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Raising K's the chicken.
Yeah, Raising Cane.
The cane in it.
Raising Cane. You know what I'm saying?
Hey man, look.
You know what I mean?
We see. I was gonna ask this question, but we just gonna skip to it, man. The troll of the week. You see this man, Bill Belichick? Bro, I'm looking at Bleacher Report. Bleacher Report, y'all got to do a better job. Because at first they posted
troll.
and they said banned. They said his girlfriend is banned from the. And then I refresh it. I'm like, why couldn't I? What's going on? Then I see 2 minutes later, not banned. I'm
Right.
like,
Bill Belichick is the head coach. He was the head coach of the New England Patriots. Now he's the head coach of North Carolina
and
football.
he's 100 years old and his girlfriend is my age.
Right, so he's got about a 60-year difference.
He's right about there. Right about the 60
So,
years.
it's a little odd.
And so USC was a little bit questioning if he was going to be distracted by, you know, the paparazzi of young women coming in with his girl. And so they said, we might have to look into consideration of banning her.
Right.
So I guess they did, I don't know if they actually said they was going to ban her. And then they rescinded that ban because Bill Belichick said, nah, my girl got to get up in here. Or if it
Right.
was a situation where it was like, we think we gonna ban him, and then somebody ran with the story, and then they was like, no, we not actually gonna ban her. I'm
Bill,
like,
find a woman your age or in your age range.
nah, he said
and you won't have none
he
of
want
these
them little
issues.
tenderonis walking around. That's gonna motivate him.
I'm watching this stuff with, you know, another super troll is the whole thing with Shannon Sharp.
Oh, Lord.
It's like, you know,
He's
you know,
already troll of the week, but he
Right.
running it back.
right, like this age.
Y'all gotta stay
Yeah.
away. Look, that's what I need to find me a girl. Stop taking the girls in my age range, man.
Like 50-year difference is crazy. 40 years. Me and my wife have these discussions all the time. Stop dating little girls. If you're a grown man.
Hey, they say they got that thigh pad though.
Right. Stop dating little
They
kids.
got that thigh
Stop
pad.
it,
So guess
man.
what? It's all they gotta do. They say,
Right,
hey,
man. Stop it, man.
as soon as they start complaining,
me
cash
and my wife,
out.
me and my wife always talk about where's those fathers.
They,
You know what I mean?
They fathers
Where's the little girl father to step in and say, "Yo, Bill,
see what I've seen a
yo,
lot
Bill,
of times.
you my granddad."
See what
you know
I'm
saying?
What I've seen
You
a
my
lot of
grandpops,
times.
Bill. What we
What
doing?
I've seen a lot of times is like with the Aaliyah situation, they'll pawn their daughter off to get that generational wealth.
Yeah, so you know, but they used to do that back in those days, though. Yeah, they would. Oh, here, take my young daughter. I was watching Game of Thrones the other day, and it was 12, and he was 16.
Take my
It's like,
virgin daughter that has
and have kids,
pure blood.
right? Pure blood.
I'm
And so-
like, that's
so-
what they doing now out in the open.
I think they've been watching Game.
They
of
doing that
Thrones.
at Chapel
They
Hill.
watching too much Game of Thrones.
Oh man, Bill got to chill out. Bill got to
Yo,
chill.
man, chill,
Man.
yo, chill with that, man.
Hey, he
That's
said he
not-
want to motivate
that's
the
not a good
players
look.
though, because he said they got an entourage of some dimes, some tens and nines walking around. And you said the NIL players. He said we might not be able to motivate you with the NIL.
It makes more
But we
sense
got you
if
here.
grown-ups are with grown-ups and kids are with kids.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they're both grown-ups, but 60 years. He said when he was 40, she wasn't even there.
Okay, well, grown with grown.
He said grown, and
then
little grown.
and little grown. We gotta decipher this a little bit.
Oh,
we gotta create another law.
Oh man.
Instead of 18, we gotta say 20 and 30 something. I don't
We
know.
gotta say there cannot be a more than
10
year age gap.
Yeah.
We can stay right there. If you in the comments out there being like, nah, maybe 15, you're a weirdo.
Right.
Get up out my comments. You tripping.
Right.
Hey, but that's a perfect segue to this next thing, man, because, with you being head of basketball operations, I think we have to kind of understand one thing. It's like, what does it take to lead an organization? And this is not just from, the operations side. This is also from the coach's side. And this is also from the player side. To be a leader of an organization, what do you think that takes?
Building sound and trustworthy relationships.
Right, okay.
I think life is about relationships.
Okay.
I'm really keened in on that. I think an OG, when I was younger, put me onto that. Like, you gonna move on, your movements will be based on how you're perceived, what you do, what you say, and how you surround yourself. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, if you surround yourself with winners, you'll strive to be a winner.
Right.
Taking that leadership and owning it. You know what I'm saying? Being responsible from the bottom to the top. You know what I'm saying?
And that's in all leadership positions.
all
so, even
leadership
if you're
positions.
a player, you have to do that same thing, have relationships with your teammates and your coaches and things like that.
Right. Relationships go way further than you think. You know what I'm saying?
Right, 100%.
And like, all of them don't have to be buddy. You don't have to be best friends. You don't have to even have dinner with them.
You just got to know what sparks them. You got to know what interests
motivates
them.
them.
What makes them feel depressed, what makes them feel, sad and things like that.
Be tapped into their reality.
Their emotional intelligence.
Right, and what their goals is. So if I got a group of people around me, the first thing I want to do is make sure everybody's feeling the vibe of this is what we all got to be on the same page when it comes to communication.
Right.
Because I'm constantly learning this through my relationship, my ultimate relationship, that communication is something that you constantly have to work on.
You got to improve.
You can't
all
rest
the time.
your hat on the communication you had prior.
Right.
It's an evolving thing.
Right.
And I'm continually trying to improve with it.
100%.
I'm not done learning.
Right.
Another part of being a great leader is being willing to learn.
Yeah.
Like, I've been in this game for decades, but I never claimed to know everything about it.
Right.
I've sat down with some other great minds and been able to pick from some of the things they've done.
Right.
Shout out to my man Scott. Shout out to my man Kevin Knox. Shout out to my man Coach Don DeZagua. Some of those guys who I've really mentored, and follow some of the things they've done, some of the blueprints they've put out.
Right.
A lot of other great coaches I've dealt with. Coach Seitz, my high school coach. Coach Williams, college coach. Guys who's really allowed me from a young age. They saw that I was different.
Right.
You know what I mean? I was like a thought process ahead of everybody about basketball.
We call that chosen.
Right.
You were chosen.
So, and I've dedicated, like, people who grew up with me have knew me never to be playing or involved. Everybody kind of knew that somehow, some way, basketball would be his life.
Yeah.
He just didn't know in which capacity.
Right, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And growing up, I thought the only way you could be a part of this game is
As if he was on the court?
is on the court. Shout out to my Uncle John. Uncle John put me in a position at a young age. He was the founder of Tampa Bay Warriors, one of the original travel teams in Hillsborough County, in this region, in Riverview, and
do your research.
All of these
do
things.
your research.
Shout out to John for really putting me in position to learn
Right.
the business side as a young man, running tournaments.
Yeah.
So establishing those relationships from management all the way down to players.
Right.
I give him a lot of credit. He gave me the platform to coach at a young age.
Right.
He gave me the platform and the trust to run a whole gym by myself and have and delegate certain responsibilities to others.
Right.
He allowed me to take over the 501c which is a big deal.
That's
You know
because
what I mean?
if you don't get the paperwork right,
He assisted me in establishing my own small business.
Right.
So shout out to John. I love you. I appreciate you. You really inspired me to be to be logistical responsible.
Right,
You know what I
right.
mean? To try to see everything as if this is the way you want to present it.
Right.
He was one of the first to really make me understand that me being present and ready to go could be somebody else's Christmas.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'll never forget, really saying that I'm gonna do this, especially training in the morning. That if, I'm 6-7 years now,
Right.
straight. And one of the things that motivated me was this could be somebody's best moment of their life.
No, 100%.
And I kind of picked a little bit of that from Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
Jordan made a comment that the one time they see me could be the only time they see me.
Yeah.
And I want them to remember me for my greatness.
Right. Devin Booker said that recently
You
as
know
well.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So put it like this. I don't recommend it, but sometimes these trainings are random.
Right.
So I might, like, for example, I think maybe you was in a gym, somebody referred somebody who was on vacation from Detroit to
I remember,
come train
Yep.
with me.
Yep.
And not knowing if I'm gonna see these people more than this moment. We did 2 sessions, and I just wanted them to see the best version of Coach B enough for where he calls me now, like, yo, man, we planning on coming back. Yo,
Right.
let me, I'm gonna
Right.
keep you in my
Right. Keeping that, building that rapport. You know what I'm
building that
saying?
relation. But the experience they had with me for that moment
Right.
was enough to feel safe.
Right.
That this kid is getting the right information.
Right.
That they enjoyed themselves.
Right,
You know what I'm
right.
saying? And finding that medium of being a disciplinary, but also being a understanding
Right.
of you not even understanding how to be trained.
Yeah, you're being an advocate for them in
Right.
their career, not just trying to impose what you know about basketball on them.
Right.
Allowing them to choose which routes they want
Right.
to go. Because one thing I've also seen about you is every time we go out to tournaments, you know all of the staff, you know all of the people. They all dapping you up. What's going on? Like it'll be refs mid-game, reffing CB, and I'm coaching. They'll see B on the bench. Hey yo, what's going on? B? What's going on? I'm like, that man got. I mean, it's motion, but that happens based off of, the years and years and years of sacrifice and the years of, making sure your face is clean. And I think there's a big, and I think that's, a part of the reason why you got from my perspective, from why you got your, promotion to head of basketball operations at the school, because your face is clean. There's not too many people that I've ever seen that have an issue with you. And if they do have an issue, it has nothing to do with your personality. It might have to do with, maybe what side of the coin you're on, because they got to be political on this side and you stay on your side and you stay to the truth, or whatever the case may be. But at the end of the day, they know if they having a disagreement with B, it's not going to be about character. It's going to be about, what the real meat and potatoes is, you know what I'm saying? So I think what he's saying at the end of the day, ultimately, if you want to lead an organization, you got to sacrifice. You got to make sure that you know the people. You got to have a connection
You gotta
with
be
your
as
community.
transparent as possible.
You got to be transparent, and you got to live your real life.
And you got to be okay with disappointing people.
That's living your real life.
It was a point in this game where I didn't want to disappoint anybody.
Right.
And, you would do things to try not to disappoint, but, it would take for something else. You know what I'm saying? So now I've learned that me telling the truth about a situation could be disappointing, but it also could be inspiring.
100%.
I had a recent situation with a kid that he wasn't happy about the current situation of maybe playing at a level where he didn't think he should be playing at, because he wanted to play at a level where he couldn't play at.
Right.
And just having a conversation with him about it and getting in touch with his past. There were some hiccups in his past that left him in that PTSD state of mind.
Right.
So I had to kind of like really massage that thought process
Right.
about, I'm here to help you along the way to
Right.
the goals you want.
Right.
Like, look at your past. Your past have said nobody's really taking the time.
Right.
Because when you're taller at a younger age, you could be mishandled.
Right.
Especially if you don't develop at the speed of your handler.
You get you're tall for nothing. You get the
Right.
why you play a basketball.
Right,
You might
because
need to
every
go to a
tall
different
kid is
sport.
not going to be good in basketball.
Yeah, nah.
Because there's certain things that come along with it.
Yeah.
So I recommend them to do a few things, like being tall at a younger age sometimes your coordination is not where it needs to be.
Right.
To be a fluent player.
Right.
You know what I'm
100%. 100%.
You know.
And I also see. Oh, go ahead.
No, and thus the reason why sometimes taking that reclass year to really could really benefit some kids.
Right. And that was basically what I was about to say. The way that you communicate certain things to people is almost like a foresight. But it's not foresight because you have so many years of experience. So it'll be a situation where you'll tell a group of parents, and I've never seen it happen this way because I've been a part of organizations where, we have great staff, great leadership, and they'll promise something and it won't come to pass. But you'll say, this is what's gonna happen, parents. You will be disappointed. You will drive out there and be like, why am I driving out there for my kid?
Right.
You will get upset that your kid is not playing. But at the end of the day, what you will get is everything that you paid for, which is the work.
You know what I'm saying? Like and that's keeping it 100.
Right.
And then you know what? 2 or 3 games in, you start looking at that same parent that was like, yeah. And now you see them looking at you kind of like, yo, what's up?
Right. Or their kid get in the game and they start cheering louder, and then when their kid get taken out the game, they start being like, man, why they bringing this kid? Or they'll be like, well, they need to put my kid in over him. He not being.
All of this stuff that you're going through now is called progressions of work.
Yeah.
You just stacking days.
Yeah.
You're just getting better.
Right.
None of these kids is draftable.
Right.
So everybody's in a stage of development. It's just there's different levels to the shit.
And you got to practice sitting.
You got to practice sitting.
If you don't practice sitting.
One thing about these sports, I don't care because it happens to everyone.
Right.
You have to be okay with not playing.
Yeah. Because what you'll see is they'll get that opportunity in the Ja'Kai Howard situation.
Boom.
Give me the ball.
This is a prime example. Q. His son is QB1.
Right.
Every playing that, 95% of the snaps the last 3 years, he will be under the center.
Right.
Or in the shotgun.
Right.
When he goes to college, he will most likely be battling for 3rd spot.
Right.
Maybe 2nd.
Right.
But he will be all of a sudden hat to the back.
Yep. Hit knees.
With a clipboard. Or with the big old poster with a bunch of signs.
With a couple extra towels.
Right. Or he might be the signal guy.
Right. And there ain't nothing wrong with that.
But he got to get used to it.
Because what it does is it conditions your brain to understand that I have to be a part of a program.
What you think Shador Sanders is getting all geared up to do?
That same thing.
Sick.
That's it.
You know what I mean? You getting your reps in practice.
Right.
Ooh, that was a dive. Yo, he looked nice on his feet.
Right.
Blase, blah.
Right.
But when game time starts,
hey,
this is the role that he must be comfortable with playing.
Right.
And it happens to 98% of the kids that go from high school
to
college.
Yeah.
And I'm already telling them that.
That's why you got redshirt years.
And I'm telling some of these kids that you try too hard to do something that you won't be going to college to do at all. So you gotta understand.
Say that again, Coach.
You trying too hard to do something that you're not going to do at college at all. I was just actually, and it's always crazy because every once in a while I read or see something that talks about, being trained to do things that you're not going to do at the next level.
Right, exactly.
Or that you're not going to do.
Right,
because
exactly.
that is not part of the way you are structured to play.
Yeah.
Like everybody can't go to Kyler Murray camp.
Yeah, nah.
Or try to be Kyler Murray. You know what I'm saying? Try to be Kyrie Irving.
Yeah, not everybody can be at that Kyrie camp.
Right, like
you gotta have some handles.
Yeah,
you gotta have some gifts.
You gotta have certain movements.
And we gotta see it early. Like Kyrie was doing it early.
You got kids that can move with a fluidity early.
And they think if I do enough work, I'm gonna turn this into
Right.
But that's not how it works. You gotta have that on you all for it.
So you gotta get and that's one of the things. Another thing. Recently, I had multiple parents come up to me and say, "I like the way you talk to the kids."
Right.
There's a sternness about you that I appreciate. There's a mentorship in these conversations that
there's
I appreciate.
There's a relatability,
and then there is a don't F with me.
Yeah.
Because I will go there. You know what I'm saying?
The duality of a coach.
So they've seen different shades. Shout out to my wife, different shades. Yes, multiple shades. So they've seen multiple shades of my personality and said we're okay with all of them.
Right.
Because you know how you could deal with a coach and you like him as the coach. You maybe even like him when he trains or deals with your kid.
Yeah.
But then maybe you don't like the way he maybe deals with the parents or deals with the refs or there's certain things you may, you know what I'm saying?
And you got to understand the psychology of the family dynamic. And that's the crazy part about it. It's like, he's told me multiple times.
Right.
I'll be like, why does this kid not get it? Well, coach, he doesn't have a father. I'll be like,
right, you got to understand.
I didn't even think about that. I'm just thinking about the game.
Why is he so rebellious to authority from a male figure?
Right.
There's some background stuff you got to pay attention to.
Right. Or he'll hit me with I'll be like, why is this kid, he's been in this moment 10 times and he's just still doing the same thing. Well, coach, he didn't come over here to play. He came over here to learn. And I'm like, oh, so he's never been in these moments before.
Never been in these moments.
And that's the thing, like I said, before we, wrap it up, because I got to slide up out of here, got to get to the work, you know what I'm saying? This man this is what, coming up on 26 years, 27 years, 28 years?
Yes, sir.
One of those?
Yes, sir.
Of coaching experience. So if there's anybody that wants to learn, and we said it earlier on the podcast, first couple of episodes, is there anybody that wants to learn how to mentor kids and not only just be a part of a program, but run a program? You got to look at the work right here. Coach B, again, head of basketball operations at SFA.
I appreciate it. And
you know,
one of the keys to all of this, and I get this all the time, Coach, you don't want to do more. You don't want to do this. You don't want to do that. I want to do the things I love doing on my time.
You got to be real about it.
Obviously, I could have tried to kick down doors to be a part of somebody else's even more and more. But the lifestyle I've lived allowed me to really grow my own product.
Right.
There was a point, people don't even know this about me. I worked 20 years in the insurance business. You know what I'm saying? For about 10 of them, I worked at home. I was one of those first
work from homes.
One of the first work from homes remote when it first kind of dropped.
Okay.
So it gave me the time to really game plan my life from a legacy standpoint.
Right.
Think about this. Think about this. What's the legacy of your existence when you're no longer here?
When you
start having situations around you transpiring, you start thinking about that.
Right.
And if you haven't thought about that, I'm putting you on now. Start thinking about your legacy of your life. I literally have moments where I think about what is being said when I'm no longer here.
100%. And don't wait for it to be a life-changing or a life-altering
decision. It doesn't
have
to. You don't have to wait for that. You can make the change now.
Right.
Because we're only as good as the imprint we leave on this planet.
Impact. 100%.
You know what I'm saying? We're only as good as the teachings and the breadcrumbs we've left for the next generation.
Right, 100%.
And I think at some point I decided that I'm going to focus in on being an example of the work.
Right, and it's impossible to emulate the work without doing the work. And you've done so much work. And I want to just, like I said, I've been giving flowers all episode, but I don't think there's enough flowers in the garden to cut down and give you. So
Appreciate
I said,
man.
I'm about to get up out of here. I'm going to let you handle the work and everything like that. But shout out one more time for my guy, Coach B, head of basketball operations. Fam, deserve well.
Appreciate it. We back at it. My man Wylie had to get to the work, man, so I'm going to wrap it up, man. I just wanted to, say some words, man. Part of our show, we definitely want to make sure we spread the gospel. And we acknowledge that everything happens through my belief in Jesus Christ. It's been, me and my wife were having a discussion the other night about, understanding when your blessings is coming, understanding when it's your season of blessings and how to recognize it and really focus in on making sure you touching lives and spreading the word and being honest with yourself so people can radiate to that honesty. Right now I'm in the middle of a lot of positive things happening in my life. My wife, like I said, is writing a book. She's starting her own podcast. I got grandkids graduating. My own son, godson, is in line to graduate. Mike Wylie just graduated. It's a lot of good things happening. and I'm grateful for them. You know what I'm saying? I definitely want to take a minute just to acknowledge that, my mother's currently in a hospital, so all the prayers and everything that come in, we appreciate. Love you, Mom. Praying for you to get back on your feet. I got to give my mom credit. That's kind of where I got this drive from, and she got it from her father. My mother's from Lagos, Nigeria, so she came through to America at a young age and decided this is where she wanted to stay and do the work. She grew up in New York City and learned a lot from that culture. And that's where I've gotten to my drive from. I was talking to my sister not too long ago, and she's the same way. We work. My uncle's a hard worker. When he was here in Florida running Summerfield basketball, he would 100 million things he would be doing at one time. So, this is a bloodline thing for me, just to be out there, giving it everything I got to the community, giving everything I got to every kid I encounter. I don't know. God ordained me, touched me with that. I don't know. I just never been anything different. I think back to when I was younger. I always would organize things and teach things, and it's just been the way I've moved my whole life. And you don't know it until you get older that those things were different. You know what I'm saying? Just not, I understood the game from a cerebral standpoint at a young age. It was just different, you know what I'm saying? And, so I just thank God for giving me this opportunity. Once again, I'm a humble person, so I want to always thank everybody that made my journey possible. I'm still on flight up. I'm still on this trending up. I just want to make sure I acknowledge everybody that's been a part of my journey. I couldn't have done this without a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? I don't want anybody to ever think that this is all just Coach B doing this. It's a lot of people in my camp that's constantly supporting me. I always want to make sure I acknowledge my son, Messiah Turner, who has taught me more in these last couple of years than I've learned in the last couple of decades with certain things about, this game and the mental state of a child in this game. He's helped me a lot understand how to maybe talk and approach things different, and how sensitive these kids are in this time of development and trying to achieve their goals. You got to remember, I'm dealing with kids in the process of something they're trying to learn and get better at. So obviously there's a give and take on the criticism. There's a give and take on the emotional wealth, the being of a child. I play both sides. I'm near and supportive, but I'm also there to let you know that's not going to work. So, I just want to thank everybody for giving me the platform. You know what I'm saying? Thanking all those coaches that allowed me to be in on their practices, to learn from them. It's been a blessing to be in this town and to help this town with this game of basketball. When I first got here, it wasn't really a basketball town, but now, as you can see, we're having kids spawn from this community and then ending up on TV to play in this game. So it's a testament to all of these coaches, man. It's a lot of coaches out here that's doing their thing. Shout out to every coach that is really trying to uplift these kids. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I never tried to put myself in the forefront of anybody's success. That's just never been me. I was the father that told my son, I'm not going to get a cameraman. Be good enough for a cameraman to come on to see you. So that was my philosophy the whole time. You know what I'm saying? So just staying out of the spotlight and just letting these kids get the spotlight of their achievements is something I believed in the whole time, man. So I just want to thank everybody that continues to watch the show. It's a blessing to even being able to get to this platform and making this show real. It took a lot of people to get involved for me to make this a real live thing, and I appreciate that. Shout out to just everybody who subscribes, likes, and share. Continue to do that, man. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. We're a little short. We need a little help. You know what I'm saying? So I'm leaning on all the people that support me. I'm leaning on all the people that support Wylie Athletics. Everybody that support Q and Don P. Continue to spread the word that the show is popping. We bring real live topics. We bring real live emotions. You know what I'm saying? This whole thing with me moving to the head of basketball operations, this is all 24 hours. This ain't even set in stone. This thing just kind of just formulated just now. So, we get the news, we give it to you as quickly as we can. Continue to watch them playoffs. It's popping. The WNBA is about to crank back up. Pay attention to that. Baseball's early season. We'll start talking about that as they get after the All-Star break. So it's a lot of things we got coming up. We got some guests. I got a guest next week. Really a guy that I actually met as a player when he came to Tampa Bay Warriors and Summerfield basketball when he was in high school. So that's how long I've been doing it. And we'll have him next week on the show. My man Preacher Pat will be back next week to give you that word. You know what I'm saying? So I just appreciate everybody locking in and just giving me the opportunity to speak to you, to tell you my story, my testimony, spread my gospel of my life and all the people it took to help me get here. Love you, Mom. Wish you health. Shout out to Kevin Jacobs, one of my guys, my bro. He's recently was in the hospital. Praying for you, brother. Hope everything's okay. God got you. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers, man. I want to say a special shout out to my mom, Pauletta Tate. She's no longer with us, but we think about you every day. Shout out to all the mothers, every mother, you know what I mean? Any mother that's passed, a shout out to. That's an important time. Without mothers, we wouldn't be here. You know what I'm saying? Those are the backbones to the family. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my wife for being a wonderful mother to our kids, and continue to mother them, continue to support them. They know they can count on her for anything. Shout out to my daughters for being great mothers. They have taken a page out of me and my wife's book on the work. They locked into everything their kids do. They do everything they can for the community. So I appreciate that, man. And shout out to all the moms at Team Gritty, all the moms from Southern Select, all the moms at SFA. I appreciate you. And I hope you have a wonderful Sunday. And tune into the show this week. We're going to rock out Tuesday. We're looking at 8:39. We'll put it out there on the gram. Appreciate you. We love you guys. Gritty. Wylie. My man Q. My man Don P. We love you, man. Condolences to you and your family. This is the Gritty and Wylie Show. You already know what it is. We'll be back next week.